For the first time, Americans owe more on their student loans than they do on their credit card bills. In addition to the rising cost of tuition, what hits students in the wallet the hardest is paying for expensive college textbooks. But there are some easy ways to cut back on those costs. Joining us this morning, Kelli Grant, senior consumer reporter for SmartMoney.com. Kelli, as always, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Think about using an ebook. Beware of a couple things, though.
Definitely. We're seeing a lot more ebook options for students, and this is something that can actually save you pretty substantially, talking in the neighborhood of easily 60–70%. But the thing that you want to think about here is, is this something that is an ebook that you get to keep, or is it a rental? You can do that too, and this is something that's maybe going to disappear from your e-reader in a couple of months. We also hear from the experts that it can be a little bit tough with some of these because they can limit the amount of pages that you print if this is something you maybe need a chart or some of the workbook exercises from it, or limit the amount of note-taking that you can do too.
You mentioned rental. The usual way that you would do this, you buy the book maybe at the beginning of the semester. At the end, you sell it back and get rid of it.
Well,
the other option,
you hope that you can sell it back.
Which is another issue, right?
Always a problem.
Yeah, but then there's also renting or rentals that are available.
There are, and this is actually something that's really smart. We saw on Amazon, for example, a $151 book. You can rent it for $45, and that covers the entire semester. And this is a really great way because then you don't have to worry about, is the bookstore going to buy it back, or is somebody going to want to buy this book at the end of the semester? You just ship it back and you're in pretty good shape. But you do want to double check all of the policies with the rental because you have, maybe there's a late fee for it, or it doesn't cover the entire semester. And then sometimes even there are fees for something like taking too many notes.
And then sometimes, the best way to go is the old-fashioned way. Just buy a used book.
Exactly. It can be really smart. I mean, obviously, rentals, ebooks, really big savings there, but we saw in a lot of cases, even the used book is going to be something that's cheaper. And also, you really do need to shop around because sometimes the rental isn't available, sometimes the ebook isn't available. These are still fairly new techniques that are out there for people. So go for a site like booksprice.com. They'll actually compare across dozens of sites, and you can see what's the cheapest rental option, the used option, the ebook option, and really figure out which solution is best.
Speaking of sites, what are the sites, by the way, if you're looking for deals, coupons, a way to save?
You definitely want to look for the coupons. This is something that actually surprised me, is that we are still seeing a lot of deals out there. Whether you want to rent the book or you want to get the ebook or the physical book, there are a lot of sites like retailmenot.com that are going to give you some sort of a coupon for it. But really the best way to do it is just to look for the particular site where you're shopping and type in the site name and code, and you'll pop up with plenty of deals that are out there. We saw one for Book Renter, which of course, true to the name, rents the books, and it was good for an extra 5 to 10% off depending on how many books you're renting.
Then there's something called a book bundle. What is that?
This is something that it's a little contentious, but we're seeing this where books are coming with these extras like workbooks or online homework courses, and by law the publishers have to be able to sell everything separately so that as a student you're not buying more than you need. But if your professor is this professor that requires you to have everything, then you might want to look for those sort of bundles where it's the new book and the access code and the workbook and whatever else it is, because when we price that out separately, we're finding that a lot of the time the access codes for those online courses are so expensive and they're single use that you would actually spend more getting that and then going with either a used book or a rented book. So get the new one in that case and get everything together. You might be able to save.
Great tips. Back to school already, and it is not cheap.
It is not cheap, and of course we're going right into the holiday season, so try to save now while you can.
There you go. Kelli Grant, senior consumer reporter for SmartMoney.com. Kelli, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you.